Hi, I'm Bellefontaine from Splash Entertainment and Balloons. Today I'm going to show you how to create a balloon hug. I wanted to use these roses today, and because of that I chose this color combination. We'll be using Merlot, Cream Dusk, Pastel Pink and Reflex Rose Gold. Today I'll be using a timed inflator, but if you don't have one at home you could also use a sizer. These come in all different kinds. I like to use this one because it's compact. You can find all sizers available in the link in the description. We're going to start with the base. I'm going to use 12-inch balloons sized at 9-inch. I'll be making a cluster of 4. When it's pear-shaped like this, you could always try to round it more out. This is our first cluster of 9-inch. The second will be 8-inch. For the next cluster, we'll be using 5-inch balloons and we're going to inflate them to 4.5 inches. Next up, we're going to attach the water weight. I've already prepared one. When creating a water weight, make sure to double stuff. It doesn't have to be a water weight. You could also create it by using sand or another weight if you'd like. To attach the water weight to the base, we're going to use an uninflated 260. I just tie the nozzles together. Make sure it's very tight. Double knot. Like this. We're going to start off with the bottom layer, the 9-inch one. Put it underneath and try to tie it in an infinity loop or an 8. Do this very tightly. Then we'll be tying the 8-inch on top. I just try to use a spiral effect, but you could also crisscross. And then at last, I'm going to attach the 5-inch. We still have a piece of 260 left. I just try to hide it underneath, just like this. And then we're going to attach our globe. I've already inflated it and tied it off with an uninflated 260. Just try to put it on there very tight and work your way to the bottom. I lift it up and then I tie it underneath. Just like this. So now that we've attached the Grabo globe in 15-inch onto the base, we're going to set it aside and start working on the 5-inch garlands. So now I'm going to create a 5-inch garland. I use monofilament to attach them, and I start by inflating the 5 inches to approximately 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to decrease in size to make a tapered look. So when I attach the balloons to the monofilament, meanwhile I try to look at how far I've come. So I still have to make a few. Okay, so normally the garland starts from the 5 inches over here. I like it to be a little bit more organic. So what I do is take the monofilament, try to weave it through a few other balloons. So it's over here. I'm going to try and fit it in between the 5 inches or between the 12 inches inflated to 8 inch. But I don't know yet where to place it. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, so I've attached it right here between the 8 inches, inflated to 8 inches. I'm going to tie it at the bottom so it stays fit. Normally I try to tie it to the uninflated 260. And I make sure that the monofilament is hidden inside. So I've already attached the 5-inch garland right here. On the other side of the garland, I still have some monofilament left on the roll as well. I'm going to use the monofilament to attach it on this side as well. The reason why I like to use the thread instead of sticking is because, sticking with tape obviously, is because I'm not sure that if I stick it with tape, it will stay put for as long as the client will need the balloon. So that's the reason why I would like to go for the monofilament. I like to cut the monofilament at a long length just to make sure that I have enough thread to weave it through. So I'm going to weave the thread through the 5 inches. Make sure to keep the tension. So now the thread is at the bottom, and make sure that there's enough tension again. You can knot it there with the uninflated 260. So while I detached the garland, I made sure to rearrange this bit to make it look more interesting. Next up, I'm going to apply the vinyl. I have some vinyl here for Mother's Day. When applying the vinyl, I like to start with the middle piece first because it gives me a better idea of the placement. Next up, I'm going to put some flowers in. Because this is a design for Mother's Day, of course, we need some flowers too. These are some very small and very cute ones. Because they're so small, they're ideal for this design, but they are on a very long stem. So I'm going to cut them to about, I think, 5 to 7 centimeters. Als het lukt. Oh, dat is echt veel te... Oh, sterk. Ja, voilà. You can always bend the stem a little bit, so it's easier to keep them put in place. To attach them, I'm just going to weave them through the balloons. try to make a hook with the stem, and then if you put it through, hook it right around the nozzle of a balloon. That way they stay put in place. Okay, to finish the design off, I'm going to add some tulle in between the balloons. Therefore, I'm going to use a stick. They're just some random small pieces of tulle. Put the stick in the middle. Then you can create something like this. And I also use a stick to put them in between. This gives the design a little bit more texture, and I think that looks better. So this is my twist on a balloon hug. Now, because I used these colors, I used flowers and tulle, this design looks a little bit more mature, but by changing few things on this design, you could also make a design for a kid. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so I already made the base. I've used a colored foil on top now from Grabo. I already put the vinyl on, and we're going to use a mermaid theme. So the base of the design is exactly the same as we did in the previous design. Now I've attached the garland straight to the clusters instead of in front. I've attached them straight to the clusters, and I'm going to pull the monofilament very tightly to the bottom and tie it again. Now the only difference is that instead of having the garland facing this side, the two last doublets, I'm facing them upwards because we're going to do something extra with this as well. Okay, so next up I'm going to attach two curves in 19 inch as top of our tail. First, I'm going to have a look on how I'm going to attach this. Have a look at how I want the placement to be. Now, I want these two to stay put like this. I'm going to use U-glue for that. I'm going to tape them together. Make sure to warm up the U-glue so that it sticks better. Now, if you don't have U-glue, you could always use balloon bond as well. Okay, so this is the finished design. This is the exact same as I did with previous one. The only difference is that I've added the curves on top and it immediately changes into a mermaid tail. Now you could always tweak this design and try to add more value to it, and that we can do with So I've made a shell out of 260 balloons. I've used two, some do it with one, I do it with two. That leaves me enough scrap balloon, enough uninflated balloon to attach it with a balloon and not just try and stick it on. I like everything that I can attach with a balloon, not with tape. You could obviously tape it if you would like. I'm just weaving it through, attaching it to the pinch twist on the bottom. Just like this. The finished design. These are my twists on the balloon hug. I hope they inspire you, and I would love to see your own twists, your own takes on these ones. Hope to see you next time.